RKT Real Estate and Finance in the motherfucking building, man.
Bada bop boom pow.
Oh shit.
So shout out to everybody, man. So today's title is "Working Hard is Not Enough." It's not enough, people. So let's get into this, man. Let's go. So let's talk about it. What's the thoughts on all that?
Yeah, man. Just like the title say, working hard is not enough. You know, a lot of times people think just because I go to work every day, you know, that's enough to get ahead. That's enough to stay afloat. Just because I work hard, I deserve something. You know what I mean? You got to do way more stuff than that to try to even stay above water. You know what I mean is that, you know, you got to do everything, man. You got to work hard. You actually got to work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? You got to do other things to make is the way inflation set up and these bills set up and the way that America work, everything is going up except your pay. So you need to be doing all kinds of things to be generating income all the time. So that means that if you work at a job, you've been there for a long time, you don't need to be loyal to them if they're not giving you at least 4 or 5% increases in raises. You need to be looking for another job and trying to get an extra 5 stacks, 10 stacks, or at least get top dollar for your position because you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're working a 9 to 5, you need to have a 401k. You know, people that have 9 to 5s and don't have 401k, that don't make any sense. Why? Because 401k stocks is to help you retire. Plus, on top of that, most jobs, quality jobs, is going to give you a 401k, and most jobs match you up to 5%, so your money growing. You know what I mean? You know, if you know, you also need to know how much you're getting in Social Security. A lot of people don't think about Social Security. You could go to socialsecurity.com and download what you would get tomorrow if you had, you know, when you get 65, should I say, what you're going to get. Because if you're only getting $1,000 a month for Social Security, you need to start generating more income. You know, so the whole gist of this thing is that you got to be doing multiple level things to be able to actually survive and actually be able to live, actually. Because if the rate is going, everything's going up. Gas is going up. Food is going up. Price of clothes is going up. Service is going up. I mean, anything you do, you get in a car accident, you go to fix your bumpers, $2,000. Everything going up. And if you ain't treating your life the same way, trying to get your money up all the time, you just falling further and further behind. You know what I mean? You fall deep in a hole that you can't recover from eventually.
Damn. So what's your thoughts on that, Kayleen? What's your...
I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, everything, you know, Rashidi's saying, plus more, I think, you know, for what it is, you still have to work hard, but you have to also realize the main thing you have to realize is that the cost of living keeps going up every year, like he said, with the inflation. So you just got to, at minimum, try to match that. So if the cost of living keeps going up every year, and you're not doing something to increase your income every year, then by default, you're falling further and further behind. And it's going to be hard for you to keep up. It's going to be hard for you to sustain. So then I also believe that not only should you work harder, but then you should cut some of your costs, the things that you really don't need. Because, you know, sometimes we don't really realize the things that we don't need. And until so like you have necessities and you have your wants, but sometimes we turn our wants in thinking that they're necessities and they're not really necessities. So then cut some of your cost of living. So then on the way to making more income, you could actually, you know, save some money in the process. You get what I'm saying?
Real shit. I think also too, a lot of times people think that, you know, working hard is going to, like, let's say, get them rich, or just working hard is going to get them to a certain point. Now, again, there needs to be the thought process, or like the understanding of working hard, right? That has to be there. You understand? But what happens is that you have some people that think that that's the only thing, because you still need a strategy in order to actually get to a next level, or to make more income, or to do certain things that's going to get you to a certain place. So a lot of times what will happen is this. Sometimes like for example, they even say in like, I think in, like, let's say somebody's working out, right? A person might work out and work hard working out, but they're working the same muscle the same way all the time, and then they fucking plateau. And then it's like they're wondering how come shit isn't changing, or this and this and that. You're working hard, but you've plateaued. You see what I'm saying? So you might have to switch it up and do something a little different. You can still work hard, but you got to switch it up and work hard in this direction or work hard in that direction. You see what I'm saying? And because the thing is this, and you know the saying when they say work smarter, not harder, But the thing is this, you could work smart, but you also have to work hard first before you could work smart. Because like, for example, think about it this way, right? You might ask somebody, wait, how did you make all these millions of dollars? And then they say, well, I bought a bunch of properties, right? But in order for them to be able to get to the point where they could afford those properties or just buy them in that one fell swoop like they did, they had to work hard to get to that point to be able to buy all those properties. So they're working smarter now because they have the capital to work smarter, but they had to work hard to get the capital. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times what happens is if you don't realize that you have to work hard, but it's still not enough, but you got to have that hard work ethic. A lot of times people try to work smarter, but then it's harder for them to work smarter because they don't have the foundation of working hard. So even though working hard is not enough, that still has to be a base, but then you have to add strategy on top of working hard so that you can get to that next level. You see what I'm saying? So I think that also something that, people got to take into account. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But
you got any questions in there or no?
Right. Shout out to Monogamous Player and Mathis R was popping with you. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So Monogamous Player said the title's facts. Working hard is important, but it also about using your resources, investments, and assets to maximize the future because one day we're all gonna be too old to work. Well, that's true too. That's true too.
And that's super important. I think I think that should be the number one goal for everyone is to make sure that they're working hard enough so they can, be able to relax during retirement. Because that's literally like one of my goals. Like when it's time for me to retire, I don't want to be working. And there's too many people working right now at retirement because they didn't strategize or work hard enough in their earlier years while they were still young, while they were still vibrant versus when they get old and they can't really move and they still got to go clock into somebody's clock.
Right.
So like go hard now, go 2, 3, 4 times as hard now so that later on in life, you don't got to, do as much. And a big part of that is like what you were saying, Ms. Lil Carter, you got to work smart because if you working hard, but your income is still at a certain level, it don't matter if you're working hard. Right. Because you're not really getting that far. So you have to find ways to increase your income while working hard. Because if not, then, 20, 30 years down the line, you're going to wonder why you're still in the same position. And it's unfortunate. A lot of people get to that point, and then they have to do what you call an ongoing career to where they have to work at Target or Walmart or a supermarket. And it's not saying that there's anything wrong with that. However, like you didn't, bust your ass for 20, 30 years just to work at a clothing store. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really be intentional about your process.
Real shit. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit. And I think a lot of times what happens is that like when a person doesn't, because I would say this, I feel like a person always needs to have, like I said, a good work ethic, which means that you're not afraid to work hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like to build anything or to get anything going, right? You still have to have that sort of mentality. Whereas you have some people who have sort of a lazy mentality that are trying to get something out of the game. And this is where you come up with people who try to do scams or people who try to, get rich quick, you know what I'm saying? Or do some other shit like that. So they never get the proper education or the proper experience to be able to get the benefits of, like getting to the next level. You see what I'm saying? Because like even for example, with when you guys talk about like, using credit cards and using and having life insurance and stuff like that, those things are ways to work smarter so that you can actually use those things to get you to the next level. But at the same time, in order to get to that level, you got to make sure you're consistent with working hard enough to maintain that situation. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're going to use credit cards, you still got to pay the shit back, which means you're still going to have to work hard to make shit happen to pay the shit back. But you might be able to use a credit card to get shit popping now. You see what I'm saying? Or let's say if you're trying to, you still got to work hard to have enough money to put into the life insurance. You feel what I'm saying? To make sure that's consistent over a period of fucking years. You see what I'm saying? But that's the thing. And then once you get to that point, you can say, okay, cool. Now I have enough leverage to where I may not have to work as hard, right? And then I can use what I got now. You know what I'm saying? To make
That's where that sacrifice comes in. So with that hard ethic, plus the sacrifice is going to equal that success. Because there's going to be a lot of times that you want to do certain things, but because if you have certain goals or certain objectives that you want to obtain, you must sacrifice, with that hard work ethic. And there may be some boring days or some ramen noodle nights, but those it's going to be worth it in the long run. Once you put in that work for a long period of time, once you're consistent. I think that's the two main things when it comes to working hard is your consistency and discipline. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's times where, people, we're human at the end of the day. You don't want to get up and do nothing.
Right. Exactly.
But you must. Like you must. If you want to reach that goal, you must. And that's why it's like it's not even just enough to work hard. You gotta go 10 times harder. The times that you feel tired, that's when you gotta really go in. Like I know, Mr. Locardo, you go to the gym. There's times that you won't even want to go.
Right, exactly.
But you're like, you know what? No, I need to. The times that you don't want to go, that's when you say, you know what? I need to go. Just because I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think to piggyback what everybody's saying too is just really looking at your life and making some changes. I see people do all kinds of different things. I mean, you look at a person that doesn't drive. A person that doesn't drive that lives in the city. You got people that love the Uber. It's the Uber thing now and all that and Lyft and all that. And it's like, listen, you don't got a car, and now all of a sudden, people got to humble themselves. If you spending $600-700 a month on Ubers, slow it down. You live in the city. Take the bus in the morning, then take the Uber at night if you're a female. Little things like that makes a huge difference on trying to save money on the back end. You know what I mean? You can even use that money to get your license if you want to get a car to be able to move around like you in the Uber. I mean, simple stuff like that. I mean, a lot of times that let's look at like women and children. There's a lot of single mothers out there. This, that, and the fifth and the third. Nothing wrong with that. It happens, whatever. But a lot of times, a lot of these, single mothers, stuff like that, may use all their resources to make their kid over happy. What do I mean? Throwing birthday parties every single birthday. Everything's extravagant. You know what I mean? These things cost you money versus, doing things in proportion, doing things within reason. You know what I mean? I mean, it comes to dudes, going on dates. You trying to impress a female, spending $100 on a date. It's ridiculous. If you go on 3-4 dates a month, that's $500 you don't have. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just little life changes that'll set you back. But if you actually take the time and sit back and tweak what you do on a daily basis and just look at what you do on a daily basis, you can save money in a lot of ways. And use your time more efficiently and make more gains.
That's real shit. And so Monogamous Place said, do y'all think that inflation will be on an ongoing reality moving forward for years to come, or do y'all think the value of the dollar and the economy will soon balance out?
No, it'll never balance out. You might as well erase that out of your mind. Inflation will go on forever. Like it'll go on forever, and unfortunately, it's just the strongest that won't even survive. That's an old saying. It's the strongest that actually have a life. You know what I mean? Everybody else is going to be extra miserable and continue to be miserable. Listen, we all running the same rat race. So you got to do something that's out of the ordinary, something that the next person that's not doing to get ahead. When you think about it logically, you look at it, it's 8 million barbers out here. What makes you different from that barber that's down the street? You look outside, there's 10,000 grocery stores. What makes your grocery store make more money than the next grocery store? Everybody's almost doing the same thing. So if you don't advance yourself and try to stick out and do something different, you can't really get ahead. That's why I say you gotta take the time to kind of not go with the flow of the crowd. You gotta watch trends, but you don't have to go with the flow of the crowd and figure out how can you get ahead and not just follow what everybody's doing at the end of the day.
Right. That's real shit.
He said trends.
I know, right? so you really think that is so basically inflation's never going to stop. It's going to keep being the thing. Like
that's not. That's here to stay.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because white people don't want us to catch up.
That's fucked up.
I mean, inflation got to be real, man, because nothing stays the same, man. I mean, nothing stays the same. If you really think about it, like, look at the car industry. That's a perfect example. I mean, 10 years ago, you get a bucket for $1,000, $2,000. These days, a bucket is $10,000, $15,000. Like nothing stays the same. You get an accident, all these cars, they got all this technology in there. You go to get your bumper fixed, they got to replace cameras, this, that, and the third. Everything costs money. That's why inflation's always going to be a thing, because nothing stays the same. And as more as technology get more advanced, that means it costs more money to get advanced. Then it gets advanced, then it is another level. Everything keeps leveling up. So inflation is only just leveling up, but it's letting you know if you're not leveling up, you just falling behind. That's all it is. It's just a fancy word for inflation, just leveling up and keeping up and leveling up with everything else, because everybody else around you is leveling up. Businesses, corporations, jobs, they all leveling up. You got to level up to keep up, or else you just you just get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Now I'm dead serious about the rich people. I don't know if it's that they don't necessarily want people to catch up, but they're always doing more. Like you said, like I mean, there was a time when the most expensive car in the world was $250,000. You understand? Then it was $500,000. Now you got niggas driving around in $9 million cars, bro. A $9 million car that could only seat 2 fucking people. How you got a $9 million car that can only seat 2 fucking people?
Right.
You understand? And then there used to be, I have a 40-foot yacht.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when that was the biggest. But rich people always want more, and they always want to do better. Mm-hmm. So when, like you said, Sheedy, is like the bumper is going to have cameras in it. It's going to have sensors, so you don't, bump into shit and all this other shit. Where it's like a bumper, not a regular bumper no more. Why? Right. Because ultimately, the rich people was the first one to have a car with all those sensors and cameras. Mm. But then now that technology trickles down to the middle class. Mm. But that's going to make everything cost more. You understand what I'm saying? And so they just keep stretching the game. Like we're like literally, if you really think about it, we are at the behest of the desires of rich people. Right. You understand what I'm saying? This nigga said, can you speak on your new teeth, the pros and cons of upgrading?
Y'all know Miles don't like to get in personal shit.
I mean, if you really want to find out, pay for a consultation. Right. Mm-hmm. Because this shit wasn't cheap. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So if you really want to know, pay for a consultation. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Right. That's funny. Oh shit, that's hilarious. But I mean, the thing is this, I think also too, like, because we talking about this on a Bad Boy show. We were saying that I think people are underutilizing the internet and social media nowadays to be able to come up, because this is the thing, you still got to work hard. Like people can make money on social media, on the internet, right? The problem is that, one, again, people don't want to work hard, and also working hard is not enough on social media. You still have to have strategy to try to figure things out to make things pop or whatever. But at the same time, right, it's like people are underutilizing it, and we have all of these fucking people all over the world who are using the internet too. So you have access to millions of people. You feel what I'm saying? So however you want to do it, because like even right now, we only got like 20 people watching this in and out right now. Now, after this is done, maybe we'll have like 300-400 people that watch the whole episode after the fact, right? Now, if you think about it, that's still 400 people that watch the fucking shit. Now, if you're selling something for fucking, $20, and if 5 people out of 400 buy it, that's $100. You see what I'm saying? And so, but what it is that I feel like just even the fact that like something like the internet, where if a person is trying to level up or make some money or to do something like that, there's so many different ways. If they really wanted to make it happen, they could try to actually work hard at it, and then to level up, work smarter at it to make other things go down. You see what I'm saying? And so I feel like there's this thing where, because it's not easy. Let me tell you guys something. It's not easy to just, to make something pop as far as like a side hustle or a business. It's really not easy.
Right.
But I tell you what's harder is being broke all the time. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'd rather do the other thing and at least go in that direction. But the thing is, if you have the mentality of, okay, I can work hard, so I already have that as my base, so I'm not scared to put in the work. Then once you're putting in the work and you're seeing results from the work you're putting in, you say, okay, what can I do to strategize to make this even be better than what I need it to be at the moment? You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like with the internet, because we have so much access to all these people, again, it's not a simple thing, but it's a possible thing for you to add into your situation to try to make something happen. You see what I mean? So I think people are underutilizing the aspect of social media and all these other different things. And sometimes it's just because people don't really know about it or know what to do. But at the same time, and you know what I think too? I think also it's up to people to I don't know if this is a thing. I'm wondering is it the thing where people who are using the internet to help themselves to make shit happen, are they just trying not to tell people what it is? Because I'm telling y'all niggas right now, we make money off the internet. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, are there other people who's making money off the internet but just not saying it so other people don't realize it? And then if they are people that's saying it and don't realize it, are just people in general, they don't believe they can do it? Because because they don't have the work ethic to do it. Or they're like, fuck that shit ain't gonna work. It's a scam. It's a bullshit. Because like I was watching a video, this fucking short video. This nigga said that his mom used to always tell him, like, why you always fucking around with that YouTube shit and stop playing around, right? And so he said that he had the checks of his YouTube checks being mailed to his mother's house. So then he said the mom opened up the mail and she saw a check for $192,000 off the shit that she was telling him to stop fucking around with. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the thing is that I feel like people don't know that they could actually work hard in this thing which we call the internet to actually make shit happen, because you have people all over the world using this shit, so you could just get to those motherfuckers.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a perspective that you know, because that's clearly in my opinion, that's clearly generational. Right. Because she don't realize that you could, you know what I'm saying? Like think about the old like butler and maid. Right. Mm-hmm. Think about what happened when the first nigga in the neighborhood came to them and said, hey, I want to become a mechanic or a welder. Right. They probably was looking at him like, boy, you better get your job cleaning up these white people houses. Right. No, what the hell you talking about? Ain't nobody gonna let no nigga work on their car. Ain't nobody gonna let no nigga weld. Ain't nobody gonna let no nigga be an electrician or a carpenter. You better get one of these, butler jobs. Mm-hmm. He's looking at his parents like, nah, I'm telling you, sooner or later, everybody gonna have a car, and I'm gonna be working on cars, and I'm gonna have my own mechanic shop. Mm-hmm. Boy, you better quit your bullshit dreaming and come over here and work for these white folk and clean up these toilets. And you get what I'm saying? So now the same shit today, where hey, I'm gonna start making these YouTube videos, and I'm gonna review different kinds of water, and I'm gonna talk about the benefits of water, and then blah blah blah, and then you tell your moms that's what I'm gonna do. Boy, you better stop playing around on the internet and get yourself a welding job and an electrician's job, and you better become a mechanic or some shit. Stop fucking around with that internet shit. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. But again, working hard is not enough, because even with that example, you gotta see where to direct your work. Right. You understand? Because you could work hard at an office job, mm-hmm. or you could work hard at some internet shit. Now, the cool part with the office job, the office job is cool, but it has a cap. Right. The internet shit, if you're creative enough, you can reach a whole bunch of people, like you said, Lucario, and make pretty much as much money as you really want. Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how hard you want to work and how creative you are in getting to your audience and all that type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I mean, to piggyback everything what you guys saying, Miles and Ms. Lucario, I said two key things. You actually have to work hard before you can get to that level and be able to do things. So
Right.
back to the internet part, like the reason why you guys are successful is because you work hard. Y'all worked hard, and you're also consistent and heavily on the internet. And if you didn't have the hard work ethic, you can't work on it and then keep going. Because the reality situation is, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, man, I'm tired of y'all, both y'all on my Instagram pages. It's nonstop. Y'all like the commercials all the time, son. Y'all
No, you gotta
videos come up
gotta make it
all
see.
the time.
You
I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to catch up with y'all, man.
Seriously. So but that's the perfect example of working hard where it pays off, where the consistency and working hard and you're consistent, and that's why you guys are successful with internet. But the problem with the new generation is, like you said, that example with the grandma telling the nephew or whoever was, oh, stop worrying about this YouTube, stop worrying about this YouTube, because that person was busy being consistent and working hard at the craft and not giving up and continuing to work hard on a consistent basis, and it paid off. Because everything needs time to get built up. You have to build up, you have to build up things. You have to build success. Nothing's never not built. You know what I mean? Live in a house, you got to build brick by brick. Like nothing's not built. To become a good driver, you need to drive on the road. Like it's a process. So when you stop the process or you don't do enough of the process, you're not consistent, which causes gaps, which cause you to deter away from the situation. Because the internet can make a lot of money. You can reach a lot of people, but you got to be a hard worker. And if you work hard, you're going to learn to be consistent, and you're going to see that you make progression in increments. And that's what people don't understand, is all about increments. That's why the internet is like, oh yeah, let me just jump on here. I went good for like a week. I went down. Now I gave up, and you're not consistent. You're not working hard. So now it doesn't benefit you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, it's funny. I think people need to stop saying work smarter, not harder. I think people need to say work smarter and harder. And not or and. You know what I'm saying? Because I was watching Tony Ayo's interview on the Drink Champs, and he said that he's like, yo, he said 50 works super hard, but he was like 50's the richest nigga out of the crew, but he's working hard. He's like, it's weird that he's working the hardest, and everybody else in the crew, they're not working as hard as him. And then he says, like, it's funny because it's like that. He said that's an issue where the guy who's working the hard, the guys who's working the least, who should be working as much as him because they're around him and seeing him doing all this shit, they're not doing it.
You're not doing it.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, the reason why 50 is the richest is because he's working the hardest. But he doesn't even need to work that hard necessarily because he already has the accumulation that he got. But the reason why he accumulated so much was because he's working hard. So he already has the hard work ethic built in him, which caused him to be where he's at. So 50 Cent, he's working hard and smart because he's building all these different businesses. He got these different shows. He's doing all this other stuff. So it's like, that's why I said it should be work hard and smart. But even when you say work hard and smart, that goes with the title of working hard is not enough because you have to work hard and smart. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's like do both. You see what I mean? Because the thing is that, you know, a lot of times what happens is that people, because of their laziness, they never get the point. They never get to the point where they can see how they can implement the smartness into the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like Rashidi was saying, the person will work for like a week or two and they're like, oh, this shit ain't working out like I expected it, so I give up. But if they were really working hard, they would start to see the results and they say, oh shit, I'm seeing results. Now I realize that every time, like, let's say for example, a person is, you know, like, I don't know, like selling t-shirts out in the street or whatever. And they say, I realize every time I'm out here for 8 hours, I sell at least, 8 shirts. I sell a shirt an hour. And then I noticed that I talk to at least 100 people an hour and I sell 1 shirt. So now maybe if I talk to 200 people an hour, I sell 2 shirts. You feel what I'm saying? And then so now they says, well, wait a second. If I could get 200 people to see me in less than an hour, I could probably sell more shirts every hour. You feel what I'm saying? So now, but the only reason he was able to get that thought is because he was working hard enough to realize he was selling a shirt an hour. So a lot of times your knowledge of what you can do in a way where it's smarter comes from the fact you were working hard in the first place, because you would have never had that insight to be able to see, oh shit, I can flip this way, because you need the information.
Market.
He was able to track his business too on top of that. So he's able to compare.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But it starts with the hard work though. You see what I mean?
Facts.
I think also you gotta have the right people around you. You know what I'm saying? To one, to shadow them, and two, because one, you might not be, because there's a lot of people who could work hard but they're timid, and to be on the internet a lot, that part of you has to like exit. You can't be afraid, because you're talking in front of people at that point. So my point is that you don't have to be the one to actually be on camera. You can work with somebody who's not so timid, who's not so shy, who's more outspoken, that can do that part of the business or that part of the job. You know, and so you guys can work together, because I think that a lot of people do have the work ethic, but they're like Miles was saying, it's generational. So more older folks are more afraid to be on camera versus younger folks, and I noticed that. There are some older folks who are not, but majority of them, they don't want to be on camera. They are afraid to speak, and it's not their fault. It's just that in their day they were, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you just need more people, because like I said, there's nothing, as we said on the other show, there's nothing that can be done significantly by yourself. So it's past just working harder. You have to work smarter as well, like you said, but work with more people, because at some point you yourself will get burnt out. And then you want to maximize your profits, but you as one individual could only work but so much by yourself. So the working hard, it can only go but so far if you're just still by yourself.
Exactly.
And also, I think too, I would say this is that I think people just need to be more honest about like, I feel like people who are doing it, like who are working hard and getting things accomplished, I think they need to be more honest with other people if they want to help them. So for example, what I mean is, let's say somebody's trying to start a business. Most people, they fail at it, not necessarily because they couldn't do it, but because they quit too soon. And they quit too soon because they were not aware of what it takes to run a business. So if niggas kept hearing people say, yo, I had to work 3 years before I started saving any money, or somebody else is like, yeah, I had to work 4 years, or I failed 6 times. And then this happened at this point, and these are the things that I had to do. I think more people aren't hearing that. And what they're hearing is, yo, make $1,000 quick money in 2 minutes. And it's like, you see what I'm saying? So their expectations are high,
way too high,
and they expect to get that high thing without doing any work. So then that's what fucks them up, because now they're like, well, I worked for a week and it didn't work out, so this is bullshit. And it's like, no, you just didn't understand how much work you were supposed to put in. So when people say hard work, I think people need to understand what hard work really looks like, because I don't think most people understand what hard work really looks like. Like, I was watching is that something about that? I was watching this thing with this nigga from, you ever seen the Social Network movie about Mark Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook?
Yeah. This is at the beginning of the movie where the nigga, he did a monologue, and they said they had to do that shit like 98 times over and over again. That's hard work. You feel what I'm saying? But hold on, I gotta go to my door real quick. Hold on. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah, man. The point is working hard, and just working hard, like Mr. McCarty said, is not enough. I mean, you definitely got to continue to have drive. You definitely got to continue to work on yourself. You got to be consistent. You got to consistent. But to the point, you got to be able to work hard and to actually know and understand and go through the process and gain experiences to be able to take yourself to the next level. And like Mr. O'Connor said, you definitely want to tell people around you, because that's the real thing. I tell people all the time, like, I had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to obtain the things that I got. You know what I mean? And that's because a lot of times social media shows that fake world out there where it's just like, oh yeah, just do this and do that and do this and do that. It don't work. Like, it don't work that way. It don't work that way.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, man.
Yeah, man.
I think more people need to record the process versus just the victory.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I feel like that's what makes it harder for other people, where people show the highlights, like, yo, I had this popping and this blew. It's like, no, nigga, tell them the truth. Tell them niggas that your dad knew somebody and they fronted you $500,000. So at least we know you started because you had this. Or if somebody was like, nigga, I had to save for 3 years before I could invest in this. Cool. So now, like, if another person's trying to do the same thing you're doing, they're like, well, I don't have to give up because I'm on the right track. Because I know the right track is this is normal for this, that. Like, this is what we tell motherfuckers when we talk about getting with girls. We say, yo, you might have to talk to 25 girls before one say yes. But if you don't know that, you're gonna talk to 2 girls and they both gonna reject you and you're gonna feel upset. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. like even with sports, like I have not seen Steph Curry miss a shot yet. But I'm saying to myself, he can't make every shot. So how many shots did he miss if he's making all of these shots? You get what I'm saying?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Niggas need to know the reality of the fucking of shit. But yeah, any last things I want to say before we wrap this shit up?
I would say definitely go to the website, www.RKT Real Estate Finance.
Oh, you hold it on the mic. You hold it on the mic. Can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me? My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Go to the website, www.rktrealestate.com, and book a consultation. We would show you the fact that you must work hard, but also how to work smart, how to budget. Life insurance, credit repair, real estate, whatever you need help with, we can make sure we can help you with that. So make sure you give us a call or book a consultation on the website.
Right. And I'll answer this last question. So PLYA said, how long did y'all start the YouTube? I mean, me and Miles been doing this since like 2007. So it's been a minute. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, 2007. Yo, wow.
And on top of that, the shit it's been the shit we started, like the channel we're on now of the other channel, the main channel, that's not the original channel.
Nope.
Like the original channel, we had like 10 original channels before the channel we got now because the shit kept getting taken down. You feel what I'm saying? Like there was a time where literally every 3-4 months our shit was getting taken down. You feel what I'm saying? And we still kept going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
16 years plus.
Right.
Nigga.
So that's what it is. So you gotta understand that, man. This shit ain't no overnight shit. You know what I mean? And the crazy part, this is why last thing I'll say. The reason why niggas need to get on this shit now is because we crawled so niggas could run. Because these niggas right now making lots of money based off of being inspired by what we was doing. You understand what I'm saying? And just took it and ran. You feel what I mean? So I'm telling y'all, get up on this shit and do what you got to do, man. You feel what I mean? But yeah, man. So guys, make sure to hit up RKT Real Estate and Finance. We're out of here, man. We holla at y'all later. Peace. We